The Offa's Dyke path is a long-distance, multi-day hiking route that roughly follows the English-Welsh border for 177 miles between the towns of Chepstow and Prestatyn. As the name would suggest, it follows a dyke that is thought to have been built by King Offa of Mercia around 1,200 years ago and is the longest ancient monument of its type in Europe. You can pick yourself up one of these Offa's Dyke passports. As you go along the route, there are various points where you can stamp the book for a bit of a keepsake once you complete everything. You can either get this online or at the Visitors Centre in Knighton. We chose to do the walk from south to north, starting at Chepstow in South Wales, and after a relaxing train journey, there's a little bit of walk to the Sudbury Cliffs where the route starts proper.
Start on a cheers.
Cheers! We've made it to the start of the Offa's Dyke. We got the train through to Chepstow, and then there's a bit of a not very nice hike to the start at the Sudbury Cliffs. And this is going to be the start of 177 miles of glorious hiking. Cheers!
Yay! Hey! I put it on upside down. Got a long way to go. At least I got one of my legs.
As the first day wore on and our legs were beginning to moan, we started thinking about somewhere to stay. We hadn't made any firm plans, so it seemed like the perfect opportunity to try and find a nice little spot for a wild camp. So where we got to?
So we've come up this road here.
Yeah.
So now we enter woods.
Sweet.
There's Tintern Abbey. There's the Beaches Farm campsite. See how far we get in the woods?
So we've got to look for a cheeky little wild camp.
Yeah.
Any good? Sweet. Okay, magic. So we just made it near to Tintern Abbey, and it's getting a bit dark now, so we're walking through these woods and we found this awesome little wild camp spot. So tomorrow we should be able to get up early and see from the Devil's Pulpit and then have a look at the sunrise over Tintern Abbey. I'm whispering so we don't get caught because it feels naughty. Just in my bag. So this is us for the night. We found a great little spot. We're all ready for bed. Just having a quick cup of tea and then we'll be all done. There's nothing quite like the feeling of waking up in a woodland surrounded by nature. It's a real treat for all the senses. Watching the sunrise and the dew glistening on the spider webs, listening to the birds chatting and bickering amongst themselves in the dawn chorus, and taking in all of the different smells like the wild garlic and the gorgeous earthy smell of the woods. As the day unfolded, we really started to get a sense of leaving our day-to-day lives behind and could just enjoy being absorbed in our surroundings and the natural world. You can physically feel your stresses and worries slowly lifting as you're forced to slow down and just enjoy the journey.
Day 2 on the trail. It is tough. There is no getting away from it. It is up, down, up, down, up, down. It's harder than I think we both thought. It's beautiful. There's lots of variety, but there's a lot of miles. Tough miles. We're dropping down now, hopefully to a pub.
Sweet.
How are you? I like your goatee. Look at his goatee beard.
This was our first glimpse looking out over the Black Mountains. It's when you reach points like this that you realise what a huge undertaking walking this kind of distance and what a truly epic challenge trying to walk across a country is going to be. Knowing that over the next day your path will take you much further than the eye can see, even from a high point like this, and not really knowing what landscapes, challenges and adventures might lie ahead is, for me, one of the most special and life-affirming things about trying to do something like this. Unfortunately, when we started clocking up the miles, Betty's feet started to give her a few problems. What do you do there, Betty?
These are my bra inserts. And we're constantly cutting them up now, currently, to make bra insert padding. Because that's what you do when you walk 200 miles.
We found a lot of kindness and goodwill along the path. A lot of the churches are left open and have supplies available so that you can make tea and coffee and top up your water bottles, which is just awesome. What have they got? Tea?
Louis, how amazing is this? Wow.
Day 3 of the Offa's Dyke. Cheers, Betty.
Amazing church. I just think, regardless, it's really special that there's a church like this. It's open. You don't get many churches unlocked anymore. And regardless of what your beliefs are, the fact that I left tea and coffee and orange, I just think so very appreciative of that. It's so nice. And I think when you're doing a walk like this, it's all about getting through the day, you know. Are you eating enough? You've got your sun cream on. You know, it's just really basic needs. When you come to somewhere like this, the joy of having a free cup of tea is off this world. Like your spirits just go, do you know what I mean?
The Offa's Dyke passes through some beautiful parts of central England and Wales, where rolling meadows filled with buttercups make for the perfect spot to relax and spend sleepy afternoons in the sunshine. The path is steeped in history, and at many points you can almost feel yourself travelling back in time. For example, this is a 12th century Norman fortress called the White Castle near Pandy. You can almost imagine yourself being here in medieval times, with knights in their armour parading around. We're getting to the end of day 3, and both of us are totally knackered. We're hoping to come into this little village. There's a campsite by a pub, and maybe they might have a room available. Poor Betty's been really suffering today with her blisters. So, see how it goes. Unfortunately, there was no room at the Hunter's Moon Inn, although we did have some lovely food and they let us camp up in the secluded bit of their garden. With a new day come new challenges, and today saw us taking on the highest point of the whole path, Hatterall Ridge, which climbs to 703 metres along the Black Mountains, which lie within the Brecon Beacons or Banai Brwcenog National Park. Just hiking up to an old fort on the ridge. It's 9 o'clock in the morning. It's absolutely beautiful. Whew. Walking along Hatterall Ridge's meandering pathway, we caught our first glimpse of the beautiful wild ponies that roam free around here. It was a truly special experience to see these wonderful animals in this natural and wild environment. Unfortunately, as the day went by, the long miles really began to take their toll. Betty started to really suffer and seemed to be in an awful lot of pain, both physically with the blisters on her feet worsening step by agonising step, and also mentally. She had wanted to do this walk for so long and it meant so much to her, but the slow realisation that no matter how much she wanted it or how hard she pushed herself, her body was not going to let her go much further. It was absolutely heartbreaking watching her dreams unfold in this way and seeing the agonised look on her face and knowing that there was absolutely nothing I could do to help her. As we slowly descended off Hatterall Ridge, it was with heavy hearts as we knew that we were going to have to make some tough decisions. In the morning, we descended to the delightful little town of Hay-on-Wye, famous for its charming second-hand bookshops and quirky characters. It was at this point that we knew we were going to have to make a decision about whether or not Betty was going to try and continue to complete the Offa's Dyke. So it's day 5 on the Offa's Dyke, and it's been a really difficult and sad day today. Betty's been struggling for the last couple of days with some mega blisters, and we woke up this morning, looked like her feet were infected, she could barely walk, so we kind of had a really tough decision. Decided they should just call it a day, and didn't know what I should do, so she just said, oh, if I carry on that'd be good. So here I am. So sadly, after collecting one more stamp, we had to say goodbye. Goodbye, Betty. Enjoy your lovely warm bath and cosy bed. The journey was definitely going to take on a totally different feeling and meaning from now on. From starting out as a joint dream and adventure, it had now unexpectedly turned into something solitary and far more contemplative. There were going to be many hours and days spent alone, and I had very mixed feelings about the whole thing. I was excited to still be carrying on, of course, but at the same time I felt very guilty. End of day 5, feeling a bit gutted about being on my own, but managed to make it through to Kington. There's a fabulous little campsite here, it's only cheap, and they've got all the shops and stuff in the town, so it's worked out nice. And hopefully tomorrow head through to Knighton, which will be ace too. Oh, it's a good night. Finding your way on the Offa Dyke path couldn't be simpler, really. All across the route there's loads of these little acorns just pointing you in the right direction, so you certainly don't need detailed ordnance survey maps and compass or any of that sort of stuff. If you had a little GPS on your phone, you'd probably be fine. So yeah, you just got to keep following the acorns. Have you seen my acorn? Acorns!
Oh, have you lost your acorn?
I can't find the acorns. I found my lovely acorn. The section of the Offa Dyke between Kington and Knighton was, in my opinion, one of the nicest stretches. A lot of the path actually walks on top of the old dike, and it has this really wonderful atmosphere about it. Many of the trees along the dike are very ancient, and you get a sense of the history stored within the tangled and gnarled branches as you're walking along this monument that stood for over 1,200 years. By the end of the day, I was dropping down into a lovely little town called Knighton, which has the Offa Dyke Visitors Centre and a few shops, bed and breakfast, and a lovely campsite, which makes the ideal place to stop, rest, and refuel for the night. After a steep climb out of Knighton, the day took me past the halfway point, which felt like a huge milestone. Psychologically, things felt a lot less daunting and completing the walk far more achievable as I knew that I had already travelled further than I had left to go. I'm sure there's lots of different reasons why people are hiking the Offa Dyke, or why people like long distance walking. But for me, I just really appreciate the chance to spend a few days or a couple of weeks just completely losing myself and getting immersed in a journey and just immersing myself fully in nature. So if you're watching this, you might be thinking about doing the Offa Dyke yourself, and you might be wondering how hard it is. I'm just over halfway through, and whilst there isn't any high mountain passes or anything like that, and the paths are all really good, the route does undulate a lot, so it's just constantly up and down, up and down, up and down. So you do need quite a fair bit of fitness, I would say, especially if you're carrying a beast like that. There are many different ways to complete the Offa Dyke, and most people choose to carry much less and stay in hotels along the way. Personally, although it's harder, I love the feeling of being self-sufficient, carrying everything I need and having the freedom to explore and not knowing where I'll be sleeping, and the gifts that sometimes brings. I will never forget waking to this beautiful dawn chorus whilst camping in a secluded woodland. The UK is home to the vast majority of Europe's ancient oak trees, and all along the Offa Dyke you can see the most wonderful examples of these majestic and magnificent plants. They provide the perfect place to relax under a little bit of shade, to just stop for a while and take in the beautiful scenery. So it's day 8 out on the trail and things seem to be going really well. There's loads of people on the trail today and they're all really friendly. And it's really nice to feel a part of a bit of a trail community. Everyone was really eager to stop and share little tips about where they know the good camp spots are or where they found some water and all of that. So that was really cool. There were loads of people over from the States and Canada. So obviously this is quite a popular walk even internationally. After a break for a quick wash, it was time to carry on. When you complete a journey like this, you notice how the weather can play such a huge part in how you're feeling. When it started raining today, everything just seemed so much harder, and with the accumulation of all the miles over the previous days, my energy levels just plummeted and I started to feel very strung out. So, if you've ever dreamt of being cold, wet, unbelievably tired, and smelling like a badger's ass, then the Offa Dyke might just be the holiday for you. Thankfully, after a good night's sleep, the world seemed a better place. I set off again with a bounce in my stride, not knowing what the day would have in store. After a nice little stretch along the old waterways, the path led me back into the woodlands, and the weather took a turn for the worse. For the first 8 days or so, I've been really lucky, I had really good weather, but as you can probably see, that's definitely not the case today. It's absolutely chucking it down. Oh my goodness. I think the saying, "I'm as wet as an otter's pocket," springs to mind. After trudging through the rain for half a day, I decided it was time to try and find some shelter. Someone I'd spoken to told me there was a great place called the Old Mill right on the path that had a barn with refreshments set up for people walking the path to use, which sounded just perfect. So I'm now 9 days into the Offa's Dyke, and things seem to be going really well. I'm feeling good. I don't think I realised how hard it'd be to do something like this. It's a lot of miles, and day after day after day it just kind of ends up taking it out of you a bit. Today's been quite difficult. It's absolutely persisted it down most of the day, as you can probably hear. So I found this really nice campsite called the Old Mill in Candy, and they've got an old barn set up, and they do tea and coffee and cake, and we just had to put a donation in. So I'm just going to camp up here for the night. They also make you a hot meal if you want that, so that's pretty cool. So yeah, a bit of rest and recuperation, and then I'll have 3 massive days left to do. Hopefully the weather will improve. Because the weather's been so bad, the guy that runs this place, Neil, I think his name is, he said to me I could sleep in the barn tonight, which is amazing. It might sound a bit weird, but I'm really excited about it. There's been swallows flying in and out the door all day long, so I've been listening to those, and hopefully there'll be some bats as well. So this is me for the night. I get to dry off my kit and get a bit of sleep, so it's amazing. Night. We're really lucky in the UK to have some areas which are like temperate rainforests, which I'm walking through now, and it's been so dry lately. It's been strangely dry for the UK, but it absolutely hammered it down yesterday, and this place just seems to come alive. It just smells so earthy. It's wonderful. You can probably hear all the birds and all the different wildlife. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Good dose of rain yesterday. So I've just set off on day 10 of 12, and I've got about 50 miles left to get to Prestatyn. So I've got 3 big days now. I've worked it out, so I should be hopefully having a nice little wild camp in Llandegla Forest. I think I've said that right. And then there's Mo Famu, country park which goes up quite high, so if the weather's alright, I'm going to get to have a camp out on top of the hills there, so that should be pretty epic. But yeah, looking forward to it. The path takes you across Point Cassuthte, which is the longest aqueduct in Great Britain and the highest canal aqueduct in the world. If you have a head for heights, you can walk along a narrow path which goes by the side of the canal, which was pretty nerve-wracking for me, to be honest, but good fun. One of the most challenging things I've found about doing the Offa's Dyke has been all the messages I've received from Betty since she had to give up. And you know, she's been sending me wonderful things through, like pictures of delicious meals, warm beds, hot bubble baths, and words of encouragement. I received a text this morning saying that she was really disappointed, that she thought that I didn't do enough miles yesterday, and was I really stopping at that time, and that I should really get up early and get a move on today. Thanks, Betty. Looking out over Castle Dinesbran, I got my first glimpse at the beautiful Dee Valley and the Clydwyn Range that I'll be walking across over the next couple of days. It's been another absolutely beautiful day today out on the trail, and I'm just coming up to Lambedder Forest and it's getting pretty late. I'm pretty shattered. I'm just trying to look for a camping spot. As you can see, we're up on some moorland here, which is really nice, but there's nowhere to camp here, so hopefully I'll find somewhere in the forest. Otherwise it's going to be a long night. A bit worried now. As you can see, the forest is really nice, but it's getting quite late. I've been walking through for about 20 minutes and there's just absolutely nowhere to pitch a tent at all. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do. So it's about 5 in the morning and I eventually managed to get the tent pitched up last night in this forest. There was nowhere anywhere. I just managed to come across this little spot, but the tent's hardly pitched, it's hardly standing. Last night there wasn't any wind, but in the night it started blowing an absolute hoolie, as you can probably hear. So I don't know how long this tent's going to be upright. I'm absolutely knackered. So we'll have to see what the day brings. So this is the penultimate day, day 11 on the Offa Dyke. Today I'm trying to head over from Llandegla Forest, heading over the Clydwyn Range, heading up in a little place called Bodfari. We're supposed to be a super nice campsite. It's supposed to be a really nice day. I was really looking forward to it. However, the weather has gone full Welsh. It's blowing an absolute gale and there's thick clag everywhere. So I'm not sure what today's going to bring, but it's probably going to be quite tricky. But anyway, still looking forward to it, and we'll see what happens. Just got to the summit of Mole Famu. I think that's how you say it. It's been just an absolutely brutal day. The wind's been relentless and it's been quite challenging. I don't really mind, but I'll be glad when I get down off this hill today, get some food in my belly, and maybe get to the campsite and have a hot shower. After dropping down to Bodfari and finally getting out of that unrelenting wind, it was time to nip to this epic little local pub for some well-deserved food before crawling into bed to rest up for the last little stretch tomorrow into Prestatyn. So today is my final day, just heading from Bodfari over into Prestatyn. I think it's about 12 or 13 miles. God, yesterday was an absolute brute of a day. The wind was relentless. I've never been so glad to get to a campsite in all my life, I don't think. But today it's nice again. So yeah, looking forward to it. The final push on through. Completing the Offa's Dyke has proven to be really challenging. There's no getting away from it. The miles are massive, day in, day out. And although you don't go across any really high mountains, the route constantly undulates. So every day you're doing quite a lot of elevation. There's also all the things on the trail that you have to contend with. I've been chased by bulls. I've been held hostage in my tent by giant mosquitoes. I've been eaten alive by midges. I've had sore feet every single day. There's been storms, rain, wind, all of that to contend with. So it's not an easy undertaking by any stretch of the imagination. Despite all of the challenges, and perhaps because of them, completing the Offa's Dyke has been a truly life-changing experience and one that I would highly recommend to anyone. You get a wonderful sense of adventure setting off on a journey like this, and it changes you in ways that you never expect. The path passes through some wonderful countryside that is just bursting with life, from all the fragrant and colourful wildflowers accompanied by the busy insects, to the beautiful cacophony of all the native songbirds that provide the perfect backdrop to days spent rambling through this historic part of England and Wales. Despite the monumental achievement, it is almost with a sense of sadness that I have come to the end of this truly epic adventure.